Are you in a relationship filled with a lot of ups and downs where some days it seems like the relationship's good and it's going to work out, and other days it's just horrible and painful and you're wondering why you're stuck in this relationship? Do you find yourself looking to the other person to make the executive decision of what's going to happen in this relationship? Why are you? Why are you waiting for them to either stay with you, to make it better, or to break up? Let's talk about this in today's video. Hi friends, Ashley Berges here today. And today I want to discuss the concept of waiting for someone else to make a decision about the relationship. I'm going to dive deep in this video, really diving into the emotional and the psychological reasons why we stay in a relationship, hoping that the other person will make the ultimate decision if they're going to stay or go. Let's begin discussing why we wait in limbo. Some of us have actually probably been waiting for quite a long time. So let's discuss the 5 reasons that we find ourselves in this situation. The first reason why we find ourselves in this situation is because the ups and downs of the relationship have actually confused us and put us in what I call the blender of emotion. Okay, if you're in a relationship and everything's pretty even keel and pretty calm and pretty positive, it's easy to understand that this is probably a pretty decent relationship. I'm going to work to really make this work. Now, if the relationship was constantly mean, angry, if your significant other was constantly being upset with you, putting you down, calling you names, you would probably not want to stay in the relationship. But see, the problem we have is that some days in this relationship, your significant other is in an amazing mood. Really nice, or at least treating you okay. However, in the next day or 2 days or 5 days or a week later, they're incredibly mean, incredibly insensitive, and it reminds you what's all wrong in the relationship. And you see how that can cause us to be in that blender of emotion because one day is good, one day is not, and it keeps us confused. The second reason why we find ourselves in this situation is that we want to be seen as the good person. Right? We want to be seen as somebody that's been helpful. And that's been one of the issues in the relationship is that we have been proving ourselves, trying to prove ourselves for a very long time that we're valuable, that we're a giver, that we actually help. And we're worried that if we actually break up in this relationship, we're going to be considered the abuser, maybe even the villain. Right? And we know that we've heard some past stories with some exes of this person that we're dating or married to, that they might actually go on further to create the narrative around that to tell others how horrible and how mean we are. Okay? And so that's something that keeps us in the relationship as well, is that we want to keep proving our value. And because we really feel like we've never proved our value, the last thing we want to do is be labeled a villain or labeled an abuser. The third reason we stay in is that we fear making a mistake. None of us want to make a mistake. We all want to have the information and all the evidence we can possible to make sure that we make the right choice. And there's always going to be these questions in the back of our head because remember, a lot of us are in this relationship because we are maybe a savior type or we're trying to be helpful. Maybe there's some codependent tendencies in our programming. And so we're holding out. Maybe they'll get better. Maybe they'll actually work on themselves. They've been talking about doing it, but maybe they'll actually follow through this time. Okay? And we find ourselves possibly holding on to what I like to call false hope. And some of us may have been holding on to this false hope for a very long time. The person keeps saying that they're going to get help. They keep saying that they're going to go get therapy or coaching, but they haven't followed through. Maybe they've said that they want to do couples counseling, but they've never made the appointment. Or when you did make the appointment, they walked out in the first 15 minutes. And this can be overwhelming because we're holding out for that person to maybe begin to find themselves, right? But a lot of times that can be our programming holding us in. The other part of that is we have to start looking at ourselves. We can't always keep looking at what they're not doing. We have to also look at maybe some of the self-sabotaging that we're creating in our own life. And maybe some of that self-sabotage is really focusing on them instead of ourselves. The fourth reason why we find ourselves in this situation is that we are reminded of the things that we have done wrong. Okay? Instead of the things that we've done right, we're reminded of the things that we've done wrong throughout the entire relationship, right? I've coined a phrase actually called forever ammunition. right? And I did a video on that, I guess it was several months ago. We'll put the link in the description here below. And forever ammunition is when your significant other constantly brings up things that you did in the past that they're not happy with. And those things that they bring up about you in the past are the things that create two things, right? They create guilt and shame, okay, within our own mind, right? And that keeps us in the relationship because of the guilt of whatever happened, right? Maybe you connected with an ex on social media and had a conversation. You know, maybe before you met this person that you're in a relationship with, maybe there was some times where you weren't always, honest in past relationships. And so the person is bringing that up. You know, maybe there was something that happened in this relationship that you're still paying for anytime there's an argument or disagreement, okay? And so that stuff, that forever ammunition, makes us feel guilt and shame, and we blame ourselves for everything that's wrong in the relationship, keeping us stuck in something that we really need to figure out why we're in and why we chose it in the first place. The fifth reason why we find ourselves in this situation is that we have faults and we've been reminded of them by our significant other, okay? We've been reminded of them. We worry that other people won't love us because they've told us how difficult we are to love. Perhaps we're worried that no one's going to find us attractive because our significant other has told us about how maybe we're a little overweight or we need to lose weight or our thighs are too thick. And we're worried that we're going to roam the earth alone because we've been told that we're irritating to listen to. So these things are told to us on a constant basis, right? And in the beginning, maybe you didn't believe it. Maybe in the beginning you were arguing it and fighting it. But think about how often you've been told about your faults, reminded of your faults, and how those thoughts have become programming in your own head. And so there's that worry there, that fear. Will I not find someone else? Will I be alone for the rest of my life? And maybe I just need to stick with this because this is what I have, and it might be the only thing I ever have. And see, that fear keeps us in this relationship as well, right? And you can see from all 5 of these points, psychological, emotional, even the programming that I talk about, these are the reasons why we're in it. It's not because we can't make a decision, right? It's not because you don't really know what you need to do. It's because of all this is happening at one time. So these are different layers that you're going to need to walk through, be able to examine these layers that are happening currently in your situation, and then understand how to really refocus on you and make the choice that needs to be made by you, because you need to do that for the best case scenario. The situation a lot of times we don't realize is that we have to choose extremely wisely because we want to create the life we want, right? But we want to create and live our true life. So if something is antithetical to our values, if we're in a relationship where we're being put down mentally and emotionally, these are things that we really need to take hold of and start asking ourselves some serious questions, as well as probably start working with someone that can help you to understand, to process the situation, and to clearly see the relationship for what it is. Taking away the ups and downs and seeing it necessary so that you can make the right decision for them, but also for you. I hope this video has helped you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. And also give us a like here on this video if you like the video. Hopefully it has inspired you. Or if you know of someone else that's going through the situation, I'm sure often enough, you probably have a friend that has called you multiple times about a situation, relationship they're in, and it seems like they're constantly in the same turmoil, not knowing if they can leave or not leave. What's the right thing? And you find yourself giving advice until you're exhausted. This might be a video that you can share with them to help them to be able to process their feelings and thoughts, and can really help them to understand. Oh, also don't forget that we have new membership options here. There's a join button right here that you can push and you can learn all about it. Love to have you involved. There's a really great content already on the channel, but there'll be some VIP content as well that you can watch that's not on the actual channel, but it's on the members side of the channel itself. And in the comments section below, also, are you dealing with a relationship where you're questioning, should you stay or should you go? And what are you doing to try to make that decision easier for yourself? Or how are you trying to gain the information you need so that you do make the right choice and you don't make a mistake? In the meantime, thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to live your true life.